How do I show my 30 female husband, 30 male, his hypocrisy? I used to work when my husband was unemployed. I made minimum wage, so everything I earned went to our bills and food. When I worked, the money was our money. Now I am unemployed because we couldn't afford daycare for our baby. I'm a som and he has a great job that pays good. Not great, but a lot better than min wage. But now it's suddenly his money because he earns it all. He doesn't give me access to the money, doesn't let me go shopping. He will insist on buying everything, and doesn't give me spending cash. When I ask for money he will say it's his money and I'm just going to waste it. He has made several large purchases which I consider to be frivolous and unnecessary, but he says I don't get to tell him how to spend his money. Recently he's been considering me going back to work, without involving my opinion. He started listing off very expensive things that he wants to buy, including a house. I told him that he cannot afford those things on his salary. He said yeah, but if I go back to my old job, we can afford lots of nice things. So I told him straight out if I get a job, I'll give him half the bill money, but the rest is mine and he doesn't get to say what I spend it on. Well, all of the sudden, we're married, and it's our money, and we're a team. I tried explaining what a huge fucking hypocrite he is being, but he just calls me a selfish ass and says I am immature and petty. Maybe I am being petty, but I've gone without things I want for years because he was too selfish to give me spending money. I think it's only fair that I keep what I earn when I go back to work. I really don't know how to explain my point of view so that he understands it. How do I make him see how ridiculous I think he is being? Please give me some advice. That doesn't include immediate divorce, preferably. Edit SP. Edit 2. Okay, I had some PMs asking for more examples, and a few calling me a misandrist, lol. Every cent I earned while working, I gave towards our combined expenses. We struggled a lot in the beginning because we were poor and only living on my salary. I didn't have any money to waste on luxuries. Example of his craziness. Few days ago, I made a shopping list. I asked him to take me to the store because we were out of necessities, eggs, milk, diapers, etc. He goes to the store by himself, without telling me or taking the list, and gets the diapers, and got himself candy bars, lunch snacks, a package of meat for himself alone, but nothing communal for the family to eat. Another example is 1 month when he spent money on chocolates for himself, and a brand new wireless headset, and a tablet. But I had to fight with him and even sneak money from his wallet to buy formula for our baby. He asked me to water it down to stretch it out, or switch the kid to solid food already because the formula was too expensive and he was tired of buying it every week. We fight over money a lot. He only wants to spend it on what he wants, but when I need or want something, it starts a fight about how he doesn't want to waste money on my crap. I don't own luxuries like makeup or perfume. I have one pair of shoes and my bras have holes because he considers bras too expensive to replace. I shouldn't have to fight every time I want something. And he never asks me when he makes large purchases. He also bought an extremely expensive piece of furniture and invested hundreds in stocks without even telling me. That is my main issue with him and what I'm asking for help with. He just blows me off and does things without even telling me. How do I get it through his skull that he is acting like a teenage bachelor, not an adult married father? Edit 3. I have disabled PMs because of trolls spamming bullcrap. If you really want to MESG me, I can add you to my whitelist. Edit 4. Thanks for all of your insight into my relationship and advice on how to handle his shit attitude. I was happy to have met other people in my situation. I don't really know what I'm going to do, but I'll update if anything changes. Any more advice or links or resources would be greatly appreciated, as I'm on my last nerve and fed up living like this. I couldn't reply to everyone, but I will continue to try. I sat here for hours and read your comments. Thanks again, lots of love. This is not hypocrisy, this is called financial abuse. My mom went through the same thing with her first husband and it was hell. He wouldn't even give her money for groceries. This is abuse. He understands what you are saying. He doesn't care because it doesn't suit him. You will never get him to admit this. Hey up, I've worked in family violence and community area of the financial services industry. This is what's called economic or financial abuse. It might be helpful for you to have a look at this resource and then consider seeking some independent advice on how to handle your situation. The buses don't stop where he lives. You can't convince him of anything. This is financial abuse. Don't share your money with him, get some savings together and then get out. He knows full well it's unfair, but he just doesn't care. No, op. He knows he's a hypocrite. He just doesn't care how it affects you. What's yours is his and what's his is also his. Also not to be that person, but finances are one of the number one reasons couples divorce, so just something to remember. I really don't know how to explain my point of view so that he understands it. How do I make him see how ridiculous I think he is being? Please give me some advice. That doesn't include immediate divorce, preferably. He knows. So far he's been successfully brainwashing you and gaslighting you, so he assumes he can continue that, and continue treating you like an unpaid servant. As everyone else has noted, this is financial abuse and probably the tip of the iceberg. Good on you for waking up out of the gaslighting and standing up to him. So sorry, tasty ad. Probably he'll not agree to a healthy, respectful marriage or partnership. It's abusive AF. Go domestic violence center, get some counseling. Best of luck. How do I show my 30 female husband, 30 male, his hypocrisy? He knows exactly what he is doing. He just doesn't care. Leaving isn't an overreaction at all. You said you've gone years without getting anything for yourself. This isn't about the money, it's about the fact that he prioritizes himself and does not see you as an equal. I don't think you are being unreasonable. I would have felt sad, mad if I were you. He's being selfish. It's fine if he could afford the nicer things on his own after contributing to the household, but it's not okay for him to assume you would be willing to contribute to his big purchases. I despise people like your husband. His money is his money, but your money is also his, or yours. My only advice is go back to your old job, which I assume pays more, and only contribute to half of the bills and keep the rest for yourself. He has no right to tell you how to spend your money when you earn the money yourself. As for you guys being a team, sure, if he sees you guys as a team, he would have asked for your opinion on the purchases he'd like to make. This is financial abuse in addition to being blatant hypocrisy. Why are you staying with him? You can make sure you get the money by filing for divorce and child support. Why would you want to remain married to someone who financially abuses you and clearly doesn't respect you? He isn't having a hard time understanding. He's a selfish asshole who wants to keep you under his thumb. He wants a double standard. Stop talking. It's settled. Talking is negotiating. You said what you mean. And if you go back to work, shut up and keep half your for yourself. Your husband doesn't understand because he doesn't want to understand. You need to stop thinking about how to convince him and think instead about how to deal with his incredible selfishness. Stop arguing with him and start planning. You can remind him that it was our money when you were working, his money when he was working, and suddenly he wants it to be our money again when you work, but then let him know that you will not cave into that kind of abusive treatment, and any money you earn going forward will be your money. Period. This isn't healthy. This isn't how a relationship should work. It's financial abuse. Also, you being a SOM is basically a job. He doesn't want to acknowledge his hypocrisy. He doesn't respect you enough to treat you fairly. In his head, he is what matters most. The decisions that work out his way are the best decisions. His priority is not being fair to you, or contributing equally to your marriage, or ensuring you feel supported. His priority is that he gets the best end of the stick. So what's yours is his, and what's his is his. You can't talk someone into giving a shit about you. You can't prove to someone that you are as important as they are. You can only decide how much of yourself you want to give to the guy who sees you as a supporting player in your marriage. So I told him straight out, if I get a job, I'll give him half the bill money. If you do decide to stay with him, then you will figure out a proportional amount. You make less, then you pay less. That includes childcare. What you need to do is figure out how to level up your career prospects. He just calls me a selfish ass and says I am immature and petty. Isn't he a charmer? I hope you told him that he is projecting hard, since he's the selfish ass who has been financially abusing you. Make sure you have your own bank account, because this is not a man you can trust. I have several words for you, and please take this as coming from someone who's been in your shoes. Get the hell out of there as soon as you can. How he is treating you is abusive to not only you, but your children. Water down the formula? Does he not realize that waters down the nutrients and your child could end up very sick due to lack of essential nutrients? Wow. Even stronger. Get the fuck out ASAP. Upvote this so it can reach her. If you contact child services and let them know of this abuse, they can testify in your custody and you'll get his share of fatherhood via money. In my opinion, only the sin of killing is worse than this. This is a fusion of fraud, hypocrisy and cruelty. He's using you so hard. GTFO, please. You're being abused. Get out. Thehotline.org. This is financial abuse. I'd get a new job in order to pay for a divorce attorney. You're not going to be able to explain it to him, you'll have to show him. When you get a job, do exactly what you say. Put your half of the bills in the bill pot and the rest is yours to do what you want. I would advise having your own checking and savings account. Unfortunately, there are a lot of men who don't place value on their wives being a som. If the marriage goes down the crapper, this guy is going to make sure he is protected while you're left with nothing more than child support. I'm telling you, protect yourself. He is financially abusing you. Please look into it. My mother couldn't buy herself an ice cream because my dad said it was frivolous spending when she rarely asked for anything. He bought himself Christmas and birthday gifts and she got nothing. This is not a team. Do not buy a house with him. This is a hill to die on. I suggest marriage counseling, but I'd run if I were you. I would actually go back to work as soon as I could, and I wouldn't let him know how much I am earning. I would help with the bare minimum financially, so that I could have some savings for myself. It doesn't matter what he believes about money. He already has a belief that is his money. You have already explained to him that you need access to the money in the house, and you don't need to remind him how you paid everything while he was unemployed. Think about what is best for you and your kid, since he is only thinking about himself. Please, do not neglect yourself and go back to study as soon as you can. He got his degree, you deserve yours too. You are so young, only 30 yo. Imagine yourself 20 years from now. Take care. I really don't know how to explain my point of view so that he understands it. He understands it well enough to change the rules when it's convenient and for his benefit. Going back to work and sharing the money isn't fair after what you've been put through for years. You'll most likely be unhappy and resentful, rightfully so. But keeping yours and his money separate and splitting bills will most likely leave him feeling angry and resentful. I'm sorry, I have no advice other than counseling. I really don't see how else this relationship can move forward with both parties satisfied. Good luck. Please provide an update. If you want to stay with him, I'd sit down and discuss the value of the work you do at home and set up a portion of his check to go into accounts for each of you for personal spending. You are approaching his behavior in good faith and he is acting in bad faith. I suggest getting a job, then getting a divorce and let the judge tell him just how much of his income is his, versus yours, versus the child's. He asked you to water down your baby's formula? That can and will cause malnourishment. But he did not care. Let that sink in. The biggest question here is, why are you putting up with this? You child deserve better. It's your duty to protect that child. Leave this financially abusive piece of shit. The minute he wanted to water formula down to stretch it out was time to leave. This is a form of child abuse. Get a job and start your exit plan. 10 years ago I was in your boat. Now I'm remarried to an amazing man. He's my partner, not the bank. You can be happy and get back on your feet. You are suffering from financial abuse. He's using money as a means to control you and essentially ensuring that you cannot leave. He's also putting your child's health at risk by suggesting that you should just stretch out the formula. This is a bad man. This is a dangerous man. Why do you love someone that hates you and your child so much? Girl, this is financial abuse. I went through this with my ex-husband and it didn't get better. Unless you sister your finances soon and have it will never get better. He completely understands what he's doing, he just doesn't care. He didn't care how it affects you or your child, only him. He's a selfish ass and unless he does some serious introspection, he won't change. You're better off leaving. It's one of those, what's mine is mine and what's yours is mine situations. You tried to point out the double standard and he all but laughed at you and called you an idiot. I wouldn't buy a house with him. He sounds like a fucking asshole. Look, immediate divorce is your best option. You're being financially abused. How can you think that he actually cares about you? Surely anything would be better than staying with this loser. I've seen a lot of abuse in my life, but holes in the bras? That's a new low. Jesus Christ, that's so embarrassing. How can he even call himself a man? We have to take away his man card until he grows the FCUK up. Kick his narcissistic abusive ass out. Divorce him and force alimony through court. He understands exactly what he's doing. You don't need to explain anything. He's taking advantage of you and will continue to if you don't leave. Any normal, functioning teenager could see the hypocrisy here. You need a divorce. Financial abuse. Fun. You need to call a abuse hotline or women's shelter. My wife and I do well and I earn a monthly bonus. I always say, What do you want to do with this extra money? We decide together. I really don't care what she does with it, it's extra. But it's our money. Why are you still with this man? He sees it, he just doesn't care about what he put you through and how he made you feel. Maybe tell him that he can choose to call his money our money or he can choose to pay child support. Leave that dick. Financial abuse. Think about getting family member he respects pointed out to him. Probably won't make a difference though. This is so fucked up. I'm so sorry. He won't understand it because he doesn't want to. Your money will always be our money, and his money will be my money in his eyes. This is definitely an abusive marriage. At this point, do you really think there's anything you could do or say to him that will change his behavior? He knows what he's doing, and he doesn't care. You deserve better. Like you were a bad bitch supporting him and you on minimum wage, you're worth way more than this piece of work. Show him this. He's acting like a piece of trash. His responsibility is to his family and he's not fulfilling it. Therefore, he's failing as a man. Money decisions, especially with a SOM, have to be communal because the SOM is sacrificing all financial gain for the well-being of the family. The dude is trying to kill your baby. It's time to run.